Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, your topic is about watch. Do you wear a watch?
Yes, I always wear a watch. I think wearing a watch defines your personality, so I always takes my time to wear a watch.
Have you ever got a watch as a gift?
Yes, in my on my 12th birthday, I got a watch as a gift by my parents, and it was very precious.
Why do some people wear expensive watches?
I think expensive watches has become a trend nowadays, and wearing them is very trendy.
Do you think it is important to wear a watch and why?
I don't think it is crucial to wear a watch nowadays because we can see time on our mobile phones as well.
Okay. Do you have a talent or something you are good at?
Yes, I am very good at dancing. From the very young age, I started taking part in dance competitions, and since then, I have been winning those.
It was mastered recently or when you were young?
Actually, when I was young, my mother enrolled me in a dance academy. That really helped me to improve my skills.
Do you think your talent can be useful for your future work and why?
Yes, I think it can be used for my future occupation, and but I don't want it to be my personality.
Do you think anyone in your family has the same talent?
No, and no one in my family has the same talent as mine.
Okay. Your cue card is describe your experience when you were changed your school, college, or describe an experience about moving to a new school or house. Your bullet point is why did you change your school, college? When was it? Was that helpful? What were the consequences after that? Okay. So if you have a need to make notes, you can use pencil and paper. Okay, start.
Yes, actually, from a very beginning, I have been shifting schools from army public school to any private school because of my father's occupation. When I was in 8th standard, I shifted school from army public school Jodhpur to army public school Suratgarh. It is in the same state, but the difference was of city. In Jodhpur, my school was not that facilitated and infrastructure was not that good. But in Suratgarh, not only the infrastructure was good, the teachers were very educated. And on my first day, I still remember that I was very nervous, and I did not had any friends in that school. I was very new to that school. My brother was also going to take admission in the same school, but he was not available on that day. I was alone in that whole school. I asked one teacher to help me to get to my class because I didn't know which class is belongs to which standard. So I was in 8th class. One teacher was very nice. She who held my hand and took me to that class and sat me on that bench. The whole class was filled with students, and I was very I was very nervous at that time. And the teacher too told me to introduce myself in front of the class. I still think about that experience, and it brings chills to my spine. And I think that experience was very nerve wracking for me. At that time, when I introduced myself in front of the class, everyone was staring at me and watching my face and watching my expressions, how I am talking. So I was feeling very judged at that time. After introducing myself, after some time, after some classes, I feel very common in them that students. I made few friends on during that day. During lunch break, everyone started talking to me, and everyone was very friendly, including the teachers. And I felt very familiar in that school after the first day itself. I made a best friend of mine who was from the same state as mine. She was also from Punjab. I felt very comfortable with her. as she was from my state and she could speak the native language which I was speaking. So after that day, I told when I got to home, I told my mother that how amazing experience I had in that school. So that was the time when I shifted a school and had a very amazing experience.
Okay. Are children better at solving problems than adults?
I don't think children are better at solving problems than adults because of the experience. Adults are more experienced than children. So obviously children are not at all good at solving in skill.
If people move frequently, is it better to stay in one house all the time?
Actually, I think it depends on the occupation of the person and the state of the individual. If someone is in migratory job, for example, in army or in any other type of job, in which they are required to transfer from one city to another, then it is fine for them to shift from one city to another.
What are the pros and cons of living in a high rise building?
I think the number one benefit of living in a high rise building would be the scenery which one gets to enjoy on the highest flat. But there are many drawbacks to living in a high rise building, such as first con would be that there is no enough space for any kind of activity, and the number second would be that there are the high rise buildings are very prone to fire and many natural disasters.
What are the pros and cons of living in an old and new neighborhood?
I think living in an old neighborhood brings us more benefits because everyone is very familiar with you and everyone knows you. You can get help from anyone you want. But living in a new neighborhood or shifting to new one can be very troublesome.
Okay, thank you.